about Tucker Carlson's interview with Bryant Johnson. This is basically a rich billionaire who essentially, I guess, is trying to figure out a way not to die or be immortal or try to live longer. Basically, he doesn't want to age, is technically the idea, and he found all these ways like diet and exercise and also medical transplant to try to figure out how to make himself younger and all this kind of stuff. And honestly, I find it to be very, very horrifying, very, very anti religion, basically kind of trying to proclaim himself to be God. I know he says he's not trying to proclaim himself to be God, but that's kind of what he's trying to do, because he's trying to beat death just like Jesus did in the Bible. And like when humans do this type of stuff, it worries me, because we're trying to essentially pray God at this point. Even if they say they're not trying to pray God, they are basically praying with God. They're playing with fire when they don't realize it. They don't realize how dangerous uh, this is. And a lot of the reasons they do this is because they simply don't believe in God. But like when Tucker Carlson was interviewing him, he was asking basically questions about philosophy, about religion, about his morality, and he couldn't really answer a lot of those questions that about morality. He could answer about the science and about what he thought personally, and he was very honest with his questions. Like you could tell, Tucker Carlson was kind of, I guess, liking the interview a lot. Like he was clearly enjoying himself, and he clearly liked the answers, even though he completely disagreed with Bryant Johnson. And I could say that I really thought the interview to be disturbing because of what he's just trying to do. The idea of not dying, and I don't know. There's something like really, really, really unsettling about it, because for me, I think we all have souls. I think that when we do die, we eventually go to heaven, and no one's looking to die right now. Like he said, no one wants to die now. I get it, but like the idea of just playing with fire, playing with basically the idea of trying to make yourself live longer than what you should, or even that. Like I think the day you die is just the day you die, regardless of what happens and the circumstances that happen. And here we are doing all these medical things. Like it's good to get healthy and be fit and all that kind of stuff. That part I understand. The part I don't understand is going to a doctor trying to figure out how to get younger. That is the creepy part of it. Like how to get your body younger so you could live longer. I get people want to live longer naturally, but when it happens unnaturally is basically yeah, it's basically disturbing. And on top of that, I think you could take like plasma. I think what they said, plasma, inject it into like an old person, and it can literally make their body younger or whatever. And like it's so creepy to me that they would do that. Like basically, if they want to get younger, they just need other humans and other parts. Like I get they'll probably volunteer, but at what point are they no longer going to volunteer? Like a lot of this is becoming just really, really, really insane, really, really, really awful. Like I do believe that we have a rational soul. I believe in the soul, but a lot of people don't. A lot of people in this world do not believe in the soul, and that's where a lot of the conflict comes in. I think with human nature and all that kind of stuff is because we don't realize the soul. We don't realize the idea of our own humanity, and we try to do all this weird stuff because they have money and they can. And as a result of that, what you get is we lose our humanity. I mean, the Nazis were very good at this, right? They dehumanized people, and as a result, they lost their humanity, and they had no problem killing millions of Jews. Hamas recently on October 6th, they basically lost their humanity a long time ago because of the conditions they lived in Palestine, and a lot of it was them, or at least their parents or grandparents, responsible for that. Because when you look into the history of Israel and the Palestinians, the Israel have many times in the past tried to give the Palestinians a homeland. In fact, they had half of Israel at one point until they decided to invade. And each time there was a war between the Palestinians and the Israeli, it was always the Palestinians that started it. I mean, it's just a fact. They literally started the wars, and as a result, yeah, they lost, and they lost a lot. A lot of them lost their home. Which, if you start a war, like if I go and punch somebody, like say I go punch Brock Lesnar, right? Brock Lesnar, I'm not gonna cry about it when Brock Lesnar hits me back because he's probably gonna hit me back. I mean that is the reality, and I deserve that, right? Same thing with thing. If you try to invade someone and take their homeland, right? You try to take their homes, and they fight back and they take your home. You can't cry about it. Like you can't cry about it later because of what they did, because you're the one who started it. You're the one who caused that conflict. But this right here is on another level. This right here is kind of like genetics and all that kind of stuff. Basically, we're trying to make humans God. And that's going to have really bad results, as it always has throughout history, when humans try to think of themselves to be better than God. I mean, that something bad will eventually happen, whether what something that bad will happen. I mean, I guess the idea is that humans have always thought that we were superior to other people and other species and humans and even other races of humans on this earth. And as a result, really bad things have happened throughout all of human history. I mean, we've had genocide. We have many genocides happening right now in China, the Uyghur Muslims, and all that kind of stuff. And what I'm basically trying to get at is that all this stuff, all this medicine, all the stuff to try to make someone younger is going to have really bad results, because what you're going to end up with is you're going to end up with humans who basically are trying to live forever, and as a result, they don't care where they get the plasma, where they get the blood, where they get the spare body parts. They're going to keep doing it. I mean, you kind of see that in China with the Uyghur Muslims now. Literally, they're kidnapping Uyghur Muslims and using them for science projects, and even stealing their body parts and giving it to other people. Like, that is insane, and that is happening. We have a genocide all over the world. We have genocide, I think, in Africa right now. I want to say Ethiopia. I might be wrong on that one, on the country anyways, but there's some type of genocide happening in Africa where they're killing all the Christians. And that's been happening for years and decades. And there's also civil wars and other stuff that's happening. There's a lot of stuff that's just wrong. And now you have the whole instance with Iran and Israel again. But yeah, getting back to this interview anyways, it's just evil. Like, I don't understand why we're trying to build super intelligence, or why we're trying to make ourselves younger and trying to beat humanity. Why humans continue to try to play God. It's something that's always disturbing. It's something that always leads to bad results every single time. And honestly, we all just need to step back and realize that there is something bigger than us. There is more to our reality than us. There's an entire universe out there, and we can never see that because we are too busy trying to play God rather than just letting God be God. That's it.